Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Today we're going to review and play Volo Air Sport. This is a game that was released on the Steam store in early access and then development was discontinued. Yes, this is an officially abandoned game in early access. However, I found it still pretty fun if you accept it for all its limitations, and it could be something that's right for you. Depending on what you're looking for. Keep in mind this game is unpolished, it's not finished, so it's not for everyone. If you're expecting a AAA experience from a 99-cent game, well, pass on this title, it's not for you. This game was released on December 4th, 2014 on the Steam store, and I bought it for 99 cents recently, and that's normal price, not on sale. This has VR support for the Valve Index, HTC Vive, and the Oculus Rift. Keep in mind this is seated experience. My Oculus touch controllers did not work, and it caused some problems with the menu title screen, so I don't recommend you trying to use your touch controllers. I used an Xbox One gamepad. That's what worked best in my opinion. You could also use keyboard and mouse, but it's just a little too difficult to use with the keyboard and mouse in my experience. The Xbox One controller was perfect, although one of my criticisms of the game is that the controls are a little too sensitive. Like, one little button push can send you crashing, going all kinds of crazy directions. The wind especially just messes with you in this game. So yeah, this game is easy to get into, but it's difficult to play actually. Some people say easy to learn and difficult to master. This game is just easy to learn the basic rules, but it's difficult to even do anything in this game. There is no easy mode. It's all difficult. To me, it has a really high skill bar, and I had trouble even finishing the first course that I tried. I was able to do it, but never 100%. I got close, and I'm sure with more tries, I could have gotten past that first course with hitting all the rings. But I was able to finish the course, just not hitting all the targets. So basically, this game, you have different courses, and it's pretty simple. You fly through the hoops. Now, there's two different things you can do. You can use your parachute and parasail across the map, or you can use your wingsuit, which is what I recommend because that's a lot more stable than the parachute. I have no idea how you would play this game with a parachute. When I used the parachute, I was just going all over the map. It's very crazy difficult to control. I mean, I can get from point A to random point with the parachute, but from trying to get from one ring to another with the parachute was just impossible for me. I can't control it that well. With the wingsuit though, you do have a little bit more control, although some spots just have some spots in the map just have some crazy wind gusts that are just difficult for me to navigate and get through those wind gusts. I have no idea how you do that. This game does have several options. It has day and night options, it has weather options, lots of different things you can get into. I prefer just keeping it at one day, whatever looks best for you, as far as months of the year and what daytime you want. But the night cycle for me is just a little too dark. It does make things more challenging, but it just doesn't look better, especially in VR. It's just a little too dark. Now, the map itself is pretty, but I did notice some pop-in issues, and if you look at the horizon, sometimes it has a weird effect, especially with the sun rays. It looks a little weird in VR when you're looking at in the distance, and you're seeing the sun rays. They just look a little. The sun reflections just look a little off. It's so weird. I'm not sure how to describe it, other than say that there were some graphical issues, besides the pop-in issues and some artifacts. And for some reason, my touch controllers would show up randomly when I moved my head. I have no idea why. Now, there is first-person mode and third-person mode. I found the game was playable in third-person mode, so that's why you see a lot of third-person mode in my video. I did try first-person mode for a few tries. It's almost impossible to fly in first-person mode. It's just difficult to see. You're spinning all around, and yeah, I don't recommend it. I consider myself to have a very strong VR stomach. I never get VR sickness, never experienced VR motion sickness, nausea, or anything like that. But I think if I spent any extended periods of time in first person mode in this game, I probably would have. But it just wasn't pleasant, so I went for third person mode. Plus, it's just hard to control in first person mode. Now, this game can be quite thrilling, and for 99 cents, I do recommend it. But I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. You know what? I'm going to give it a 5.5 out of 10. Because, basically, almost neutral recommendation. I do recommend it for those of you looking for this type of game, but I can imagine most people won't like this game as there's just too many issues. The gameplay is very difficult. There isn't a whole lot of different type of gameplay. It's all just going through hoops. Even though you do have your wingsuit and your parachute, just the controls, I think, will turn off a lot of people. However, if you like the challenge, I think this is a game for you. Keep in mind the VR implementation is not the best, and you saw some of that where I'm like some issues where you go under the world and some collision issues, just random artifacts showing up, and the pop-in issues. But it can be quite thrilling even in VR. The third-person mode, it kind of sucks because obviously you want to play this in first-person mode in VR, but it's just almost impossible to control, so you can't really do that, and that's unfortunate with this type of game. But it's only 99 cents. Keep in mind, it is abandoned. There's no further development for this game, so what you see is what you get. This is all the gameplay. Now you can go to different parts of the mountain, different sides, so there's different courses you can try, but this is the gameplay for all of them. Some of the courses are just more challenging than others, and some I just found are impossible. The first one I'm showing was pretty much the easiest, and there's another one that I tried, the gauntlet mode, that was much harder. So I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm going to give this game a 5.5 out of 10. I recommend it if you're like me. Just 99 cents is hardly anything, and you want something different. But it does have a high bar for entry, and it can be frustrating for lots of people.